Welcome to the Sisters in Service podcast. My name is Kat Corchado, also known as the voice connecting women veterans nationwide. This podcast is for anyone connected with the military, from veterans, male and female, military spouses, military brats, even parents who may have children who are in the military. As an Air Force veteran, I understand the trials and triumphs that women veterans go through in service and out of service. And so I wanted to find a way that I could put it out there into the airwaves and let everyone know what we're going through and find a way and a solution to what's happening to us in the service. I also like to highlight these women who are business owners, they're entrepreneurs, they're bosses in their business. And so I hope that you will follow me, you will share, and you will subscribe to this podcast, which comes out every week on Tuesdays. And as always, please stay safe, take care of each other until next time. And it's never too late to start your impossible. Welcome, Sisters in Service, to another episode of the podcast. My name is Kat Corchado. Of course, you know me. But I have as my guest Christina Massey. Now, you may not know her because she goes by the nickname Sassy Massey. But this woman is a powerhouse. And let me tell you why. She's the CEO of her Clarity coaching business. She's one half of the duo who hosts the podcast Midlife Moxie. We're going to talk about that. She just launched her athleisure wear, Fokus Fit, and she has a son in the military. And we're going to talk about that too. So, Sassy Massey.
Hey, girl. Hey, let me land my plane. Hey.
I'm so glad to have you here today.
I'm so glad to be here. I mean, I just love you, Kat. I love what you're doing. I love who you are. I'm so glad that we had an opportunity to meet. We met in those clubhouse streets.
Yes, we did.
And you have been a guest on our podcast.
Yes.
And you know, it's going to be launching. Your episode is actually launching this month. So
oh my gosh.
I know.
I know you guys have been on this trajectory of going up. I hope I don't crash it. You are not going to be able to crash that plane because you just brought it. And you know, I just love you, and I love that you really lift up men and women in service, and especially the women. I just think that is so boss, and I love your story. So I'm excited to be here and share a little bit of insight to who I be and being a military mama. Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask you, did you know you would be a multipreneur? I mean, what was it that you said, I want to start this? And then you said, ooh, that one's going well. Let me start this. Because, I mean, that's a whole lot of hands and a whole lot of buckets. And you're balancing, you're juggling those balls, girl. You're just keeping those balls in the air. So I'm like bowing down to her like, oh, I want to be like her when I grow up.
It's better than holding balls in your hand. Okay.
Right?
I hope I can say that. I didn't even ask. I mean, how
girl,
just
be you. Okay. Just be you. You know?
Okay. I didn't know. You know, in our on our show, we say, you know, we love Jesus, but we cuss a little. And so, if a couple slip out, just know it's in good love.
Oh, of course. Well, honey, you know, I was in the military, so I can curse with the best of them. I don't think there's anyone could say, and I'd be like, I've never heard that before. So I'm just saying.
Yeah. So back to your question, did I know that I was going to be a multipreneur or even an entrepreneur at that? I will tell you no, absolutely not. You know, I came from a traditional household, you know, mom and dad. Mom was working for the county. Dad worked for the state. They retired with both. And they told me as I was growing up, like, that is a secure place to be. You should get into it. So for about 4 years of my life, I worked for the county, and I realized when I went into corporate America that corporate America and civil service were just not my jam. They wanted to put me in a box, and I had outside of the box ideas. And you always get shut down for those outside of the box ideas when you're dealing with the government.
Oh, right. You can't put Sassy Massey in a box. Are you kidding me? Shoot.
No. And so, I got reprimanded a lot because I wanted to talk, after I was done with my work, or I could, the key thing was I could multitask. I could be on the phone with you and do my work, and people just didn't like that, and it disrupted the workforce. So I started a beauty business 14 years ago. And during that time, I was a single mom, absolutely loved it, was really where I gained all my skill set of entrepreneurship. And I will tell you, I'm so grateful for that opportunity because it has launched me into a whole new world. I was going to start singing, but you all don't want that either. Your community will be like, don't do that, girl. Don't do that. Don't ever do that again. And I agree with you. So I started 14 years ago on this journey. And then 3 years ago, I got married, and I got married to an entrepreneur. And I slowly realized that I really love that. I love creating my own life. I love having the freedom and flexibility. But I like creating my own structure. So I still need structure and stability. And what a lot of people don't realize is that you can have that as an entrepreneur. It's just a matter of, are you willing to set it for yourself instead of having somebody else set it for you? So that birthed, just a whole lot of other things within inside of me. And my dad passed in November. And so when he passed, yeah. I mean, it's a circle of life.
Yes.
And I think that when something like that happens, it really makes you look at your life and say, what do I value? And what I value is time. Time to me is, and I tell this to my clients all the time, is much more important than a dollar bill. It's much more valuable. So, today I get to say no to the things that I don't want to do, that don't serve me, that don't serve the people that surround me. And I can pause in things before I make a decision, because if it's not something that I really, truly want to do, then I don't do it. And these businesses, I really, truly wanted to do it. I love coaching women. I love seeing women say, I'm tired of being in pain. I want to go to the next level. I don't know how to do it. And I think you've got what it takes to get me there. So I really value that.
I love that. I think that entrepreneurs are the people that you can't put in a box. And it's funny because people always tell me, they're like, how did you ever get through 20 years of this service?
You're like, a lot of discipline.
Well, I was one of those people that, I'd walk the line a little bit. I might walk outside. I was always that person that colored outside the lines because I just thought it made a better picture. Absolutely. But my husband, who was also a veteran, would always tell me, he goes, you're the most military person I know.
Which is because such a compliment. Such a compliment.
I know. Well, I always got my work done. Don't get me wrong. I was a single parent. There was a stigma of, single parents in the military when I was in. So, if I was on a job and they said, you need to have it by Friday, it was in their box on Wednesday. It was either there on time or it was there early, And so my husband was in intelligence, and he would call and they say, oh, she's at building 47. And so this was before cell phones, y'all, way back in the day. Okay. And I would get home. He goes, building 47. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, there's no building 47. I go, they don't know that.
I love it.
Or, you'd be like, out OTL, out to lunch. Mm-hmm. Here's one I made up, OFO. And you can imagine what the F means. Yes. Out, F, and off. Yes. They're like, oh, she's OFO. I was just like, what is OFO?
Girl, I just
So
made it
they
up.
never figured it out. I was like, oh, okay. Anyway,
I
you're
love it. Well, there's so many acronyms
in the
in the
military.
military.
Yes,
So, I
yes,
mean, to know all of them, you just go, "Oh, okay, yeah, uh-huh," and you bow
yeah,
your head and you're like,
yeah,
"Yeah, that's what it is.
yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh."
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, it's got to mean something." She's OFO. Anyway, I let's talk about your coaching business. What
Sure.
does it mean when you give a woman clarity? Clarity about what?
Yeah, it just depends. Some of my clients need clarity on their performance. Some of my clients need clarity on their leadership skills, and sometimes they need clarity on their business and marketing strategy. So there's three pillars to the coaching experience with me. And what I can tell you is that we typically start with, you know, either business and marketing strategy, depending on where they're at, or we start with performance. A lot of people have been starting at the performance level just because that seems to be the disconnect, the biggest disconnect for a lot of entrepreneurs. How to manage their time, how to set up automation, which platforms to use that will benefit their particular brand or product or business, because some people are coaches that are coming to me, some people are in the medical field, some people are in, the skincare field. So it really, or aesthetics, um, so it just depends on where they're at. But I really love to give the blueprint for the newbie, the new entrepreneur
Yes.
who still has that 9 to 5 job, but wants to get off the dock and get into the boat and just ready to make that leap, but just they just can't connect the dots. Love that. Then I love that mid-level entrepreneur who's making about, anywhere from 80 to, $200,000 a year. And they're like, okay, I'm like stuck here, and
Yes.
I need to figure out what I want to do next. And then I like the scalable entrepreneur where they're like, I'm ready to be outside of the business and ready to multiply myself or multiply the business. So I just think that there's just levels of business that people don't realize.
Hmm.
Um, and it's in every business, whether it's product based or information based. It's in every business. So yeah,
I think they're all
that's what they get.
things that you need to know, regardless of what business you're in.
Absolutely.
I think about coaching, and there's so many coaches.
There
Everybody's
are.
a coach. So tell me what makes you different as a coach? What makes you
Yeah.
stand out as a
Yeah.
coach?
I would say just the 14 years of being a coach for the other business that I have. I do have another business, but I didn't mention it. But I have that, and I've been a leader in that business for 14 years, and I've, done the hard work of developing other people's business and showing them the foundational piece. So I think that hands-on experience actually makes me different. And the fact that I'm still willing to learn, I have met coaches and they're stagnant. They're not looking at the new and latest and greatest. And I'll tell you, when I hear that, I kind of go, but there's more, and there's new things that are out there, and they're getting results faster. So we have a service to our clientele. And so I'm just always learning. And just my hands-on experience, it really sets me apart because I have been there. And my husband, working with him and helping operate his business. And, when we met, he was very, Kat, I will tell you, girl, he was very much like, don't tell me how to run my business. I mean, typical man, like, don't tell me shit because you ain't got nothing. And, sometimes we can't see our blind spots. And I'm really good at identifying a blind spot. And I'm really good at listening to their heart.
Mhm.
I'm definitely a heartfelt coach. And so if I can feel it and connect, it's so much, there's so much fruit that comes out of it. So my husband was one of those people. And over time he recognized, oh, she really knows what she's doing here.
Right. It's one of those, I love it when I tell my husband, because being in the fitness field,
oh yeah,
I remember, I told him, I said, hey, there's a gym right down the street. Why don't we go out, work out together? And he's like, oh, I don't know. So I got 3 no's and I just leave it alone.
Yep.
And then about a month later, he goes, I have a great idea. I go, what? He goes, why don't we go work out together? I was like, wow. Okay. It's like that. But I think with the coaching and I've had coaches, I want, if I hire a coach, I want someone who's going to walk the walk with me.
Right.
Not someone who's going to lead me. And I've had coaches like, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And then they're like, okay, bye. And I'm like, I don't know how to do any of this. You're telling me to do it, but you're not showing me. And I'm one of those ABC 1, 2, 3 girls. I'm a systems girl. Show me the system, walk me through the system, and then I can do it.
Yep. And that's what we do too. I will say that we leave with actionable items and we work. Like when I meet up with my clients, we work and I'm like, okay, well, what can you do right now? Like I'm sitting here, let's do it now. Like, let's not wait. And I think that's the difference. I'm not just talking at somebody. We're working together to make some growth happen. And that's important because people want results and they want results fast.
Yes.
And the only way that you can get results fast is putting it into action.
Action. Procrastination does not get you anywhere.
That's
Trust me, I've been there, done that. Let's talk about your podcast, Midlife Moxie. Tell our audience a little bit about what is Midlife Moxie? What does that mean?
Oh, Midlife Moxie. What does it mean? Okay, so I guess let me tell you the backstory on it. So I have a business partner, Gail, and
who's also fabulous.
Yes, she is. She is also fabulous. And we actually met in our other business. She has been operating that business for 27 years. And we came together because I just thought she was a boss, and I love hitching my wagon to a star, and so if you're a boss, I want to be in your space. So I reached out to her and I said, I don't know if you're open to this, but I'd love to be your friend. I feel like I could learn a lot from you. And she's 10 years. Is that my senior? Is that how you say it?
I never know how that works.
I don't either, but she would die if she knew that I said that. So she's 10 years older than me, but she's definitely very much younger at heart than I am. So she's got it going on. And she responded back. And from there blossomed a great friendship. And I value her opinion. I value everything about what she has to offer. And one day we were talking about just our midlife space. My dad was sick and he was in the hospital. I was having to, run around and do stuff for my mom. And a great, I was glad to do those things.
Of course.
But it was, you're in that sandwich generation, which happens in midlife. I was turning 44 and my kid, he had been out of the home now for almost a year. And, I was an empty nester. So there was a lot of markers that were telling me I'm in this midlife space. And then perimenopause came on and I was like,
don't even.
It was, when you miss a period, you start to freak out and you're like, dude, what happened? And then your vagina is like dry and you're like, really? What is going on? So I was like, something's wrong. Something's wrong. So needless to say, shout out for the HRT. I love it. I use it. I'm about it. I have very strong opinions on it, but I temper those with, this is my personal choice.
Yes.
And it has worked well for me. And my husband, so he's the beneficiary of it all. Guaranteed. And so we started talking about it and, she was in a similar space and we came up with Midlife Moxie, and it was like, how can we change the stigma around what midlife was about, before we got on this call, in their 50s. Like in the 50s, people were like hiding that stuff. And we were
Yes.
like, no, we need to know. So my thought process was, I want to be intergenerational with this. Gail's thought process was, I want to build a community so we'll be known for this. We'll be known as the change agents for this movement.
Absolutely.
And so both of those visions combined have really birthed Midlife Moxie. And so, that's what we call, Midlife Moxie. It's just like you have Moxie going into your midlife. You are not washed up. This is the best season of your life.
You're not shrinking.
You're not shrinking.
You're not hiding.
Exactly. And I think this is where a lot of healing happens. I think that this is where a lot of new friendships are birthed, because they're, when you're raising children, your friendships are really circled around who your kids are in front of,
Yes.
right? Or what their activities are. And this actually helps you to kind of like disengage from that and re-engage into, and I'm not saying that those people you didn't like, because I have great dear friends today that were a part of that, and I still have them today. But it also creates a movement for yourself to say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just jump in the game. I want to make new friends in this space. And I want to talk about the things that are making me uncomfortable, like, whatever it is. Maybe you have aging parents. Maybe you've just, launched your child. And we don't believe that midlife is a number, right? Because a lot of people, when you hit 40, oh, you're over the hill. No, BS. You are not over the hill. You just got started. You're just getting your stride.
I would pay money to be 40 again. I'm just saying. I would. Anybody out there? I'm just
selling their 40s. Give it to Kat.
But you know what? There are some people who, are 40 chronologically, but younger. No, yes, 40 chronologically, but either younger or older biologically. Have you ever seen someone who's much younger than you, but you're like, wow, they've just got all this spark. And then you see people who are younger than you, and like, oh, I'm a grandma now, and you're like, girl, wake up, just wake up. What do you think, in your words? What do you think midlife meant back in the 50s, and what do you think it means today to women?
What it meant back then was that you were just done. It was, you're almost to that age of retirement. You're going to slow down. You're going to, have maybe a few more years to really enjoy grandchildren, or, I don't know. I don't see, like, in the 50s, like, I don't feel like people really explored the and then some, is what I'm trying to get at. And so I feel like it was just kind of a finality almost.
Well, I also think that when you reached midlife, that you were expected to act a certain way.
Oh, absolutely.
Did your mom ever say, act your age, and I was the smart ass. I'm like I've never been 12 before, so I don't know what it's like to be 12,
Well,
yeah, that was me.
and I'm over here in my head wanting to sing Prince, at your age, not your shoes.
But what do you think it means today? Do you think it's such a small world back in the 50s?
Yeah.
As far as information, what was available, do you think it's a much bigger world in midlife today?
Absolutely. I mean, look at the, and I hate, uplifting celebrities, but let's just do that right now. Let's take a look at the celebrities that are out there. Let's take a look at J-Lo, because she's, totally famous. Let's even take a look at what happened at the Super Bowl. I mean, everybody was still rocking it. You know, everybody was like, yeah. And I mean, Mary J. Blige, are you kidding me? I was like,
love her.
Girl.
She showed up and showed out.
Hot.
They're like, oh, but what about the others? I'm like, what about them?
Because if you, right. Because if you know her story, you know, she's just catching her stride.
Yes.
Because her story has been nothing but tragedy. And to be in her 50s and shine like that,
That's a triumph. That's a triumph.
Totally. So you can see how culture has shifted. I mean, look at Kris Kardashian. Okay. Like, hello. Yeah. That woman is 70 years old and she looks snatched. I was like, I'm mad at you, girl. I'm mad at you. You know, I want to be that snatched when I'm 70. Like, seriously.
Well, you know, money helps. I'm just going to say, let me say this. When they say, oh, such and such looks beautiful. And I'm like, okay, if I had her money or his, I'd look that good.
That's right.
That's right. Okay.
That's right.
So I'm just saying, but I totally get what you mean. You know, even celebrities back in the day, they were like, oh, you know, now, you know, you were playing the ingenue and then all of a sudden you're the mom and then now you're the grandma. You can play grandmothers, you know. And so it changes. And I think it's changing for the better.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a little bit about your son. So for those of you that don't know, for those of you that listen, you know I'm a veteran. But I truly believe that when one person in the immediate family is in the military, the entire family is in the military. And Christina has a son who, about a year or so, Christina, he's been in or longer?
He's been in almost 3. It'll be 3 years. It's three years.
Okay. So he's coming up close to re-upping, right? You know, the enlistment.
Yeah.
So I want to ask this question. When he came to you or when you found out that he wanted to go in the military, what was the first thought that entered your mind after he said that?
Okay. So Kat, this is a true story. My son has been wanting to go into the military ever since he was like 5. I mean, just young age.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, his dad and I really were trying to detour him. I mean, I pleaded with God so many times, but, you know, I truly believe he had a plan for my son's life because he kept putting people in my path that had, you know, husbands that had been in the military. My son would meet the husbands, or he, you know, people at our church, you know, they were in the military. Our family. So I have a cousin that served in the Coast Guard. My uncle served in I think the Army, and then my father-in-law was a Marine, I think.
Oh, girl, you just spread the love in your family, huh?
and my grandpa was in the Air Force. So, I mean, there was a lot going on, and I didn't realize until he finally made the decision. But I'll tell you, I was like, well, maybe he'll change his mind, you know, because he's my only. And, you know, if you've ever watched Saving Private Ryan, you go, oh, I don't want us to go, you know. I mean, it's so much. And he came home one day because he had a really pretty hard breakup, his first, you know, real love. And he was having a really hard time and he was kind of floundering. He had graduated high school and was just working, taking one class during the summer. And he was like, I'm really having a hard time and I don't know what to do. And I said, well, son, I really don't know what to tell you. And I can't tell you what to do. But what we can do is let's just pray, you know. So we prayed. And I said, whatever you decide for your life, I am going to support you. Whether you decide to stay here, and because his journey was that he was going to go to college for 2 years and then go into the military. And I said, whatever you decide, it's going to be okay. So at 17, he made the decision. I come in 5 minutes later to his bedroom and he's all, I'm going into the military.
Wow.
5 minutes later.
It was right there. It was there all the time, I think.
It was. Yeah. It was. And so it was something that I couldn't deny because it was something that was placed in him long before I even knew about it.
So it
You know,
didn't
it was
come out of
just,
left field. You weren't
no,
shocked by that. You were just like, okay.
no, but I was, I think anytime your baby leaves, uh, and at 17,
Right.
it's like you realize, oh, wait, my baby's not going to ever come back home to his bed. Like he's going to be an adult, he's going to be a man. And
Yes.
sure enough, he's not come back home, and that's good. I'm glad because that means I've done well. And that means that
Right.
he's done well for himself. So I'm proud mom
You should
for
be.
sure. For
When
sure.
they're able to stand on their own 2 feet, and I
Mm,
think that's what the military gives you, is to be able to rely on you.
yes. Yes.
So you're not, oh, I got to get this from mom. I got to ask this from dad or whatever. You learn how to be you and man up or woman up, to stand
Mm-hmm.
on your own 2 feet and say, I got this.
Yeah.
I don't need help. It's nice to come home and see mom and dad, but you know that it's okay.
Yeah.
And that you can go back because you've got that support.
Absolutely. And he also has, a future, I just call her his future fiance, and she's in the military too. And she has a love for the military, and her family is a military family. And, they met at tech school. So that was really exciting. They have the same job description, and it's really good. She has had different things that have happened with her, and her story is a little bit different than my son's. But it's just really nice to see the family that the military has, because when you're in college, you typically will go to a sorority or frat, or you just really make really solid and good relationships in college, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Those are the ones that you take through life. Well, I think the same thing applies with the military. He calls them his brothers, like those are his brothers. And I love that. I just love the camaraderie.
I think when you come out of the military, regardless of how long you've served, what you don't realize when you're serving is that when you do get out, you're part of this very unique club.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You don't
Yes.
realize it. It's a very unique club. And it takes you a little bit to realize that you are part of that club.
Yes.
And then,
Yes.
once you say veteran, it's like,
oh yeah,
stuff happens for you. So let me ask you one more question, Christina.
Go girl.
When did you reach your moxie in midlife?
Oh girl, I'm still reaching it. I'm still I was still trying to catch up with Gail. She's rocking that moxie. I think I've just, in this last year, I've really come into my own, I would say, because 40, when I turned 40, it was like, I was just telling a friend today, I was like, oh my gosh, when I came into 40, it was like just a new awakening. And then when my dad passed, it was just another new level of awakening and healing and realization that I can say no, I can say yes, and I can guard my time. And to me, I've never had, not that I've not had the option, but I've just never realized that I could do those things. And so I feel like I've got moxie now. Like I'm even changing up, the style of my clothing, because when you're in the mommy world or coming out of the mommy world, you're like, well, what do I wear? I'm just wearing all these drab colors because this is just what, I do. And now I'm like having Gail help me. I'm like, dude, buy me some clothes, figure it out, because that's part of her brand.
Yes.
And I'm like,
help me.
Help me. Yeah. Help make it happen. And I'll tell you, oh my gosh, she did an amazing job. And I love the color. I love the vibrancy. I think this is it, is that you just got to walk out that high vibrations, let people see your light shine. Don't dim your light for anybody. That's my moxie.
Yes. Well, I truly believe that too. I always kind of explain it like every woman has that spotlight, the spotlight that's on the stage, and you
Mm-hmm.
see it. And,
Mm-hmm.
we step a toe in it and we walk around it and we kind of bob and weave with it. And then eventually you're like, what the hell? Let me just step into the light. And when you step into it, that's when you go, oh my gosh,
Mm-hmm.
this is me. And I think it's accepting you and being okay with who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Realizing that you bring a special kind of sauce to the table that no one else has.
Oh yeah.
And
You should see. You should see the other day. Actually, it was last night. I'm sorry. Because I'm getting excited. I'm like telling you about my story. I hope your listeners can appreciate the snort. But I'm giggling because last night my husband was walking and I was just being a dork. Like, you could just like let it all be stupid dorkish. And I was like humping his leg and he was like, oh my gosh, you're so weird. And I'm like, am I? But you like my weird, and he's like, what is wrong with you?
I know.
And
my husband's like that too. He's very, straight laced and very,
yeah.
and I'm one of those people that I laugh at my own jokes.
Yeah.
So this was in January. I was taking all my stuff down and it's a Christmas mousse, right? And I've got, I'm walking around, I'm taking stuff down and I take my mousse and I go, oh, come here, Moosey. And I said, Mussolini. And I started giggling. And I told my husband, and he just shook his head. I go, is it? And I started just like laughing out loud. And he's just like, oh my God, who are you?
It's a great.
He said, you're so goofy. I go, I know, but you love me. So what does that say about you?
I mean, that's really the question, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, Christina, tell us where we can find you. Where can people find out about you? Where can they find Midlife Moxie? Tell us about all that information.
All the things.
I think
the easiest way to connect with me right now is on Instagram because I have different websites for different things, and all the links are in my Instagram bio, so you can go there. And it's at the number one, Sassy Massey, and that's Massey. So go find me on IG and click the links in my bio. It has where you can get into Midlife Moxie, where you can, check me out for coaching and also just about my life, which is kind of fun. So I would go there. I think that's the easiest for your listeners.
Yeah. And they can also find out the rooms that you and Gail have on Clubhouse, right?
Yeah, because we post those on our stories, sometimes within our postings, our grid, but most of the time on our stories. And so you can see when we're in those Clubhouse streets and come in and pull up a chair with us.
Yeah, I'm in their rooms as much as I can, y'all, because they are a hoot, the two of them together. And don't bring Adam into the mix. I call Adam the voice, The
voice.
So,
yes.
We got the divas and we got the voice,
Yes.
But Christina, this has been so much fun. I just love it when we could just giggle and laugh and and give information at the same time. Those are my favorite interviews,
Yeah.
Any last words before we go for our audience?
I just really want to say, just shine, don't let anybody dull it out. If you need to get clarity in certain arenas of your life, seek somebody out so you can, and get your Moxie on. That's our tagline is go and get your Moxie on because we truly believe that there. And with Fokus Fit, which is my athleisure wear, go get focused and fit. Okay,
I love
you guys.
That. I love that. When can we see more of the Fokus Fit? Do you have samples of stuff that we can see?
Yes. So we, Oh gosh, this has been a rodeo, let me tell you. Yeah, we have our samples. Our first collection we're trying to launch here in the next month, but the collections will be definitely on our Instagrams, so you can see them there until the website is all built out. But we have some stuff that you guys can check out, and they are fabulous. They make your booty pop. Like, listen, everybody wants a booty pop. I got you. We got you.
See, y'all, this is why she's on my show. She's just so much fun. And I just want to say that, you know, if you're sitting there thinking about being an entrepreneur, thinking about doing a podcast, or thinking whatever it is you've been thinking about, time is precious, y'all.
Yes.
Time is precious. It's a commodity you cannot get back. So if you don't know what you don't know, find out someone who does know and ask the questions you need to ask to get ready to start. Because I started my podcast, you know, a year and a half ago. You know, I'm going to be 65 in June. I don't care. I got Moxie for all y'all. I'm just going to say. So I just want to say thank you, Christina, for being such an amazing guest. And thank you, my sisters in service, for listening. As always, stay safe, take care of each other until next time. And also, it's never too late to start your impossible.